Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So, disaster struck over the weekend. Our last video, we had got this tank set. Everything was perfect. We were within a quarter inch of where we needed to be. Everything was great. Well, then over the weekend, Mother Nature had other plans. We got like 2 inches and 3/10 of rain in a matter of about 15 minutes here. And all that rain came down all these little paths that we have, came over all the walls that we have, washed a bunch of material down in, and floated the tank out. So, we're gonna clean everything back up. We're gonna move the tank over. We're gonna get it back on grade. We're gonna right all of our wrongs here. George has got the 17 Z9A Hyundai. He's gonna go dig out the rigging that got buried in the mudslide over there. I originally brought the 17 to help hold up rigging when we're threading cables and stuff, but now Micro Richard is going to help in getting us back on track here. So it liquefied all that fresh material that I put back in around this pipe before we quit. I gotta dip all that back out. It was not supposed to rain like that, and it did, but like I've always said, I try to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly on this channel. It just wouldn't have been right to not make this part of the video, because I like to show that not everything is perfect. Not everything gets executed flawlessly. So we'll get it fixed back up here, get things straightened out, and we'll get back on track. The power of Mother Nature sometimes can get the best of you, but you just can't give up. You got to keep going. Make it happen. So the idea is I'm going to dig along this tank, clean everything up. We're going to move it over. We're going to clean under it and then roll it back where it was. And we will be good. It floated at about 2 feet up on the one end. The bad part is now the water table's up, the rivers are up after all that rain, so we're going to be fighting a little more water, but I think we'll be alright. We'll get it figured out. Seems odd to bring such a small hoe to such a big project, but hey, it definitely saves the back picking up some of this rigging and stuff. These 22-ton snatch blocks that we have are pretty heavy, so using it to pick those up really saves the back. George is dragging that cable over there to the other side. Worked real nice. Well, there it is. It's all straightened back out, dug back down to grade. It really wasn't too bad to do it. Just had to put these bunker blocks back in to hold the dirt back and roll it one way and dig, and then roll it the other way and dig, and we got it back down to grade. And we stacked about 20,000 pounds worth of concrete blocks inside of it. So now, hopefully, It won't go nowhere if we have another big rain or something like that. And then we put some blocks there to keep it from sliding this way in case something fell in over there. So the next step is to get the big one in. So that's what we're going to start working on right now. So Dad and I are starting the process of digging everything down to get the second structure in. Dug into some old railroad ties, it looks like. This will be a treasure vault down there. Gonna have to call Rick and Marty, have them come check it out. The Ladina brothers from Oak Island. Looks like something they dug into. I don't know if there's any reports of the Knights Templar being in English Lake, but actually what these railroad ties are from is the original pump structure that was here years and years ago, prior to what we just recently took out. So that's stuff that dates from the 50s, 60s, 70s. I switched from my ditch bucket to the tooth bucket, so I didn't tear my ditch bucket up digging in that. Really old sheet piling. So what I did was I stacked a bunch more concrete on top of our anchor point. So hopefully that'll hold it still for dragging the bigger structure. We're going to have our lines parted more, so we're going to be pulling harder on our anchor point than we were before. We're going to need all the pull we can get. I think that's all of it in there. We got to dig everything out that I'm sitting on right now in order to get this tank in. I think we made it through all that stuff. We have to be 2 foot above the bottom of the sump tank with the floor of the next structure. now keep digging, get this cleaned out so we can get our rigging all figured out, and then we'll start doing some pulling. Drag that forward and get it over here. Well, we're getting some cables threaded here. We got this big hook block here that we're gonna part our lines with. We're gonna run out to the tank, run back, run to the tractors. And then I've made our anchor a little bit bigger, stacked a bunch more concrete on it. We're gonna throw a cable or a chain up over the top, and that'll be our anchor point back there. So it'll have to move this whole wad all at once. So I'd like to know what all that weighs. There's quite a bit there. So we're pulling that cable with the 270 over there to the structure. Everything looks good so far. We got our logs in place down in there. We're going to try to do similar to what we did with the first tank. We'll see how this works. We're dealing with a lot more weight on this one than we were on this one. So this is going to be interesting. Alright, we got all our rigging rigged up here. Pulley blocks down there. Cable running down to the 485 down there. Right there. I took the 220 and I sat it right on top of our anchor point here. Let's have a look at this anchor point before we start pulling. Everything looks good. Chains are where they need to be. Down there's a pin with a chain, comes out the front. That's what's hooked to the pulley block. And then one here on top runs to the cable that runs through the pulley blocks. So now all there's left to do is start pulling. And at a certain point, we're going to get it pulled far enough that I'm going to have to jump into 220 and do some digging. I told George how cool would it be to part these lines so many times that we could sit on that side with the little 17 Z9A and pull that tank in. That'd take a lot of parts. It could be done though. You could part a line enough, you could probably pull it in with a golf cart if you wanted to. Your line speed would just be super, super slow by the time you got all those lines parted. Well, we're going to go ahead and start tensioning the cables up a little bit. See what we got. Make sure we got no major twists anywhere.
Stop.
Tractor's going to be an issue. We'll have to figure that one out.
We got to get it off those trees.
Well, our cable's caught up in some little saplings down there, so Micro Richard to the rescue. George is going to take him down there and get the cable up out of the bushes. Well, we're going to try it again here.
Like it, stop. It's right on the exhaust pipe.
Yep, we're going to have to move the tractor. Well, the exhaust was the problem. It's probably going to be the steering column next. Oh, perfect. Well, everything's looking good so far. Huh? All right, we got the wood out of there. That's laying a lot nicer now. Oh,
Okay, hold it.
we're moving it.
Go ahead, Kevin. I think we're going to see if we can get to this log.
I'm gonna head for higher ground.
Hey, Kevin, can you hear me? Yeah, I got you. All right, go ahead. We're going to see if we can get it pulled to this first log.
Anchor's holding.
Come, Rick.
Or pull over on it with the 200 Deere.
All right, go ahead, Kevin. I think we have it. Jacks over here. Let me move them. All right, hold up.
Bob's gonna move the jack stands out of the way.
Dale, am I dragging it to the east on my end? No, it's leaning to the west pretty severe. I see that, but I can't, I don't know, if I should pull it back then. Well, we're on the right angle to go in, so, I mean, we haven't lost it yet. These pipes are about 3.5 feet off the ground. Rick, if you can hold it there, let's pull it a little farther forward. Ready for me to pull? You all the way, Bob? I'm clear. All right, Kevin, go ahead and pull. Hold up, Kevin. I'm afraid it's going to tip over to the west.
Well, we're getting it set back upright a little bit. Put a shorter chain on a 200 and getting it pulled back over so it's upright.
All clear. All right, Kevin, go ahead and pull a little farther.
Well, my anchor's holding up really well over here.
Who's in the way?
Well,
Then go ahead, gently.
oh, I'm starting to feel the 220 shake a little bit. Anchor must be moving just slightly. Hopefully the end of that stays up to catch that next log. So this is somewhere between, probably, I'm guessing, between 85,000 to 90,000 pounds. I thought it was 98,000, but it didn't quite that. We were trying to add up what the weights of the tank cars were.
All right, hold up.
All right, I'm gonna try to do some digging.
a dead end close to where we want it, and then hitch on the north and skid it down the wood. Dale, do you want me to hold the tank upright or roll it? At the ends of the tank. We're about 5 feet away and counting. Stop.
Well, it's not quite sliding down like we thought it would. So we're going to push it a little bit with the dozer and see what happens. There it's going. Stop! Stop, 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 stop! Alright. Need to dig a little more down there. And I think I can now. I might have enough room. Maybe. Oh yeah. Might be a little deep, but we don't care right now. She'll bridge it. I got a cable coming off a pulley block. Well, actually got two of them.
If you're looking at the end, somebody's got to watch the end. North end, line them up. I will. We got a broken pulley to deal with right now. The cable's just out of it.
all straightened out. Now we're gonna do some more digging.
We're going to have about 10 feet before we're flush with the end, so make sure you got enough dug out. Go ahead, Kevin, start pulling.
Oh, I missed it. It's coming. It's coming. How's our anchor? Anchor's holding. Oh!
That some broke.
Broke our big chain. Alright. We need to pull it this way a little bit. Tractor couldn't do it. So I'm going to give it a shot with a 220. I'm under power line, so this isn't no fun. Yep. Did you guys get clear? I'll back up a little bit here. Give me your radio, Brandon. There you go. Get attention.
Hey, Brandon's on, everybody go. Cheers, guys. Whoa!
I think we got it.
Rick, pick up on your end a little bit, let it steady.
Didn't need to go far, but we got it. Well, good morning. Last night when we left off, we were just dragging the north end of the tank down in the ditch to get it down in there and straight. So what ended up happening was the anchor chain for the pulley block broke out of our anchor down here. So we were not able to pull anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to dig this end out because it needs to go at least maybe another 10 feet to be lined up with the pump tank. And then we're going to re-rig everything and we're going to try again. See what happens. That chain that we were using for an anchor was a military surplus chain, but we all know that the military sometimes gets stuff from the lowest bidder. George wants to know if I want my tooth bucket. I don't know if I need it. Hey, I don't need it. It's loose. I just got to get it right. Just had to get the corner of the bucket there. There we go. But anyway, some of that stuff's made by the lowest bidder, and it's like, well, is it the best of quality? But it was also under a lot of strain. That was a big old chunk. We did stretch the lengths on that chain. The ones that didn't break, they are pulled pretty oblong. Been cool to have a way to meter the amount of pull that was on it. I don't know what the tractive effort on a 485 Case IH articulated is. Just straight drawbar pull. I've never looked it up. The tractor does have a bunch of suitcase weights on the nose. It's got weights between the rear fenders, so it's pretty well weighted down, and it's chipped. So it's higher horsepower than 485. So it's got quite a bit of pull. So if we can just get this tank slid this much farther, we'll pretty much have it. We're supposed to get another big rainstorm by 2 o'clock this afternoon. That's enough digging until we get rigged up again and see what we can pull. Hate to dig too much and just slot back in. My original thoughts were if I had to, I'd get inside of the tank with my Mini and dig out this end and just keep pulling it forward and just keep digging, throwing it out. Have to take my ROPS off those so I can fit. Alright, let's see what we can do. Well, we got everything straightened back up. Did a little bit different configuration here on our hook block. We're going to anchor it at the top now so that we can get some uplift as we pull. We're going to get some big chains and go from the hook on that block down to the anchor. Just holding it for now with the 220 until we get everything over here that we need. 485's way out there in the cornfield. That's what we're going to pull with again. Well, we're getting ready to pull here again. I've got the camera up on the big pile of dirt. I'm gonna go get in the 220 and I'm gonna pull on that side. Dad's gonna pull on this side and we're gonna pull the tractor and see what happens. Well, it's in its final resting place. That last little yeehaw pulling got it where it needed to be. And I think it's pretty close to being on grade. I don't think we pulled it up too much down on this end, but just enough to keep it moving. That worked out real well. Our anchor stayed put. I was pulling so hard on this side track that this track didn't want to spin. I was really hoping to track back both at the same time. It probably didn't help that concrete right there, but yeah, everything held. Originally when I started pulling, that track was supposed to run over there alongside this concrete, but things got a little twisted around and it all turned out all right though. We got it moved. It's where it belongs. I believe we can start burying it now. That's a good feeling, putting some dirt on it. Bob and I are getting these pulleys off the end. Then I can lift the rest of that rigging out. Oop. Get that all out of there. And then we can get to burying and stacking concrete on this end and putting everything back together. That's the original anchor chain that got stretched. We're just using it to get the hook block out. Take it up there on the bank and disassemble everything with Micro Richard. Tangle everything up in the meantime. That's out of the way. It's heavier than it looks. We'll just pull all this out straight and get them pulley blocks out. Well, we finally found our anchor. Finally got it dug out. Go ahead and pinch it and pull it out of here. One pin down there yet we gotta get. I gotta find it. As you can see, I've taken all the concrete and made a wall out of it. Let's see, that pin's got to be like right here. Here's the chain. There's the chain that broke. just gotta find that pin. It's gotta be right here somewhere. Got it all back. So I can sit there. Finish stacking my concrete. Figure out what piece I want to put there. It's like a puzzle. I don't want one too thick and I don't want one too thin. Let's see what this one is. Perfect. That's what I want. Trying to keep them lean back a little bit so they don't fall over. That'll work. I need to fill some dirt in behind them. Is George really going to pull that out with little Richard? We're going to find out. That sheet probably weighs what little Richard weighs. Micro Richard. Oh, yeah, I've shortened his chain, I think. He'll get it eventually. Oh, maybe not. Oh, it's going. It's going. He'll get it. Well, looks like we might have some rain coming here pretty soon. Taking these pieces of old grain bin foundation, I'm going to put them on this side. Trying to get stuff staged the way I want it. Try to figure out which pieces to go where. I think I'll use that one somehow if I can get it the way I want it. like that one. I think it'll be alright. Alright. If it starts downpour, both excavators are going to sit on the sump. You know what? I don't like this piece here. I want a shorter one. Let's see if this one's any shorter. So much, I want it shorter lengthwise. That'll work. That next one will sit on the ends of those. Make sure it was pushed back a little bit against that dirt. A couple of these small pieces and put it right down in there. I've got another big piece I'm going to set right over the top of all these. All done. Put this behind there. That'll work. Let's see, where's my piece? Oh yeah, I can finish filling back there. Good thing to use old concrete for, because it don't have to be pretty out here. Nobody's gonna see it. Probably wondering why we didn't anchor across the ditch to something over there. You can't get over there. That is just a narrow levee between here and like a swamp, and there's no way to get over there. Well, I guess we could have went through the ditch, but I don't think it would have been made us any much of a difference if we got over there. Just do what we did here. I can't talk this afternoon. Getting kind of hungry. It's about lunchtime. Greased. Just stop and do that, but I wanted to get this done before it rained. I mean, it's not bad, but I can just hear a shim or two rubbing against each other. Alright. As wide as I thought it was, but that's all right. That'll work. That don't look too bad. Is this piece any wider? Maybe I'll swap it out. Much. That'll do. Something like that. Alright. Let's get this finished up. Well, there we go. It's in. It's buried enough. It's not going to go anywhere. We're going to go home for the night. And we will start over tomorrow fresh again. We've got the haul truck here. We're going to haul some clay. And we're going to backfill around these with clay instead of just this pure sand. And that will help lock them in and they won't go anywhere. We're also going to get some I-beam built to go across, and it'll fasten that tank to that tank, and then that'll also act as an anchor under the clay to hold them together. We got this all in, and it is dead nuts perfect on grade. So that was definitely a success. All right, I'm hungry. Time to go home, see what Madison's got for dinner, and maybe do some 3D printing tonight. We'll see what happens. So thanks for watching. Greatly appreciate it. We'll see y'all in the next one. And there will be another episode coming behind this one of probably finishing everything up. So thanks for watching.